everybody. Welcome. And it's not a usual Friday night preview. I'm not at home. I won't actually be watching the game tomorrow because I am on press duty. I am on press duty just over there at Sinsel Bank for the Lincoln City game. They are playing Wycombe Wanderers in a clash between two teams high up in League One. So I won't actually be at the game. I won't actually be watching the game tomorrow, the Hull City game. I'll have notifications on my phone, and I'll obviously be keeping up to date with how the performance has been and across social media and what have you. But I am working. I am working an actual game in an actual press box tomorrow, which seems quite mad to say. And it's an experience I am absolutely looking forward to. An experience I am not looking forward to, however, is a Hull City performance that, well, look, this could be a clean slate for Tim Walter. It could be a means of a reset and, the international break, and he's got Adjan backing. But if, Luton's a small away and there will be about 1,000 fans there, Hull City. And if it doesn't go well and there's an issue with performance especially, or just the fact we're losing again and stuff like that, I do get the feeling that pressure will only mount on Tim. But my gut feeling is that Tim Walter is here for a very long time. Adjan has set out that he wants to buy another number 6 in January to replace the suspended Oscar Zambrano. He wants to plug some winger holes left by the injuries to Bellumi and Miller. So that's already 2 loans there. You would suspect then that Zambrano will be deregistered and Burns will go back. And he's going to want another striker in there. That's possibly a third loan. So what, do we make Puerta permanent? Does Chris Badilla leave? Does Cal Rushworth leave? I think Adjan's going to give him till January because Adjan thinks that the big mitigating circumstance is an injury crisis here. And I disagree with that on so many levels. All right. Malum coasts through games. Isn't a loss. Alzate hasn't played, so isn't a loss. Cartwright, Lotta Tyler, Andy Smith, with the greatest respect to all 3 of them. They're all great lads. I love them all to bits, but they won't play. That's just a fact. Kamara was only injured for a week. Miller, Bellumi, things were going downhill long before they got injured. And then you're left with Carl Rushworth as well, who Adjan cites as a factor in why we're not winning games. But then he said the same thing about Ivor Panda last year, and Ivor Panda has, in my view, been our player of the season this year. He's got the most difficult job on the pitch in that we are conceding so many goals. Yet none of them, apart from the one at Derby, are his fault. I don't know why I just got automatically muted there. He's done fantastically well this year, has Ivor Panda. And, Adjan Hunt just lumped so much praise on him last year. But that must feel like a bit of a backhanded compliment when the guy who was brought in on deadline day, who hasn't played a minute yet, is being cited as a reason that we're not losing games. I don't think I've just dropped my pen. I don't think that's strictly what Adjan was going for in what he said, but I think he there we go. I've got it. I think he just wanted to name as many injuries as he could, and that's the way that comment about Rushworth comparing to Panda can come across. Ashley, good evening, mate. Love Adjan, but keeping Walter is going to drive this club to the ground. I gave the man time, but it's ridiculous now. Yeah, he deserved 10 games. That's the rationale that it should have been 10 games, and then we judge. We've had 15, and the body of work so far doesn't suggest we're going to score many goals. We're getting exciting football, which was the whole purpose behind Tim coming in. It's blood-sapping being a Hull City fan, isn't it? Gallagher, good evening. Coxey, absolutely no optimism. Harley, I hope so too, but I don't see it. Saw a stat today that Walter's record with City is the same as San Marino, man. Oh, God. Hey, San Marino, by the way, I almost want another international break just so I can watch Roberto Giavoli manage them to another win. This is like, there are people born in San Marino who have never seen them win before until September this year. Like they're doing phenomenally well, fantastically well. They've won 2 games. They scored 3 goals the other day. They got a draw against Gibraltar, and they've done the double over Liechtenstein in the Nations League, and they've got promoted. They've got promoted to League C from their current league, League D. I mean, they have come up against Gibraltar and Liechtenstein, who aren't, footballing powerhouses. But how long before September 2024 was it when San Marino won a game? But if you go on Wikipedia, they're under the reputation section on their Wikipedia. It reads, quote, San Marino has the smallest population of any UEFA country. A 1-0 friendly win against Liechtenstein in 2004 and 2 UEFA Nations League wins in 2024, again over Liechtenstein, are their only victories to date. Up until September this year, in my lifetime, San Marino had not won a game. And it's fantastic, really. It's absolutely fantastic. You look at the results overall, 10-0 defeat against Norway in 1994. Their first 2 games as a national team were a 4-0 defeat and a 6-0 defeat in Euro 1992 qualifying. And then it's always been 2-0 against Scotland, 3-0 Bulgaria, 7-0, 4-0, 4-0, 4-0, 10-0, 2-0, 4-1, 6-0. Where's the game against England where they scored? Yeah, they scored. What's his name? Davide Galtieri scored in World Cup qualification to mean England couldn't in 1993. So England didn't get into the 1994 World Cup. And, it's misery, really. It's just so much red. And, the last time they, before 2024, the last time they drew a game was a friendly against St. Lucia in November 2022. And, England beat them 10-0 in 2021. Germany beat them a record 13-0. Norway 8-0. Azerbaijan 5-1 in the last decade. Ukraine 8-0 and 9-0 in World Cup in 2014 World Cup qualification. It's just been, spanking after spanking after spanking. But now, look at it. It's, they've done fantastically well in that Nations League group. Beat Liechtenstein both times. Got a draw against Gibraltar. And then they only lost 1-0 to them when Gibraltar beat them away from home. Now you look at the let's sort this by goals for. If you ignore Liechtenstein because they've beaten them 3 times, the most they've scored against a team since the San Marino national team was founded was 3 across 8 games against Belgium. They've conceded 52 goals against England in 8 games and replied with 1. And that was Davide Gualtieri. San Marino love international breaks. San Marino are in better form than Hull City. San Marino are in better form than Man City. To be fair, watching the training on stuff on Tigers Plus before the Luton game, the whole video seemed to show the team working on finishing drills. Right. I'm expecting something now then. Whether it'll happen, who knows? Let's see. Team news. Abu Kamara, hang on. There's a typo there already. Abu Kamara has recovered. There's a second typo there. Try again. Abu Kamara has recovered from an ankle injury picked up before the international break and is available for selection. Marvin Malem and Stephen Alzate, who both were out with calf problems, are back in training, but this game and likely Tuesday's clash against Sheffield Wednesday, as well, I would suspect, just because they've only been back in full training for a day, and that was yesterday, will come too soon for the midfield pair. Goalkeepers Harvey Cartwright and Timothy Lottatala. Cartwright with a wrist problem, Lottatala who picked up a foot problem, both of those in pre-season. They are both back in training. And Lottatala is playing for the under-21s in their... they're in a cup. They're in a cup. I've forgotten what cup it is. Let me check what cup it is. It's the Premier League Cup against Leicester that he's playing. Andy Smith's in there as well. And, Bellumi, Miller, both ACLs, Rushworth, ankle, and Zambrano are the only absentees on top of that. Sellers Fleming, not involved in the under-21s tonight, could be involved tomorrow. Very, very, very much could be. That's a good point. But we've got Badia, Pedro, Burstow, all fit. So I think it's likely that it's just a selection thing for Connor Sellers wanting to give the lad a night off, but we will see. I forgot to mention in there as well, Gustavo Puerta likely won't start because he only got back from international duty today, and Tim doesn't like to put players straight in. He'll feature off the bench, I'd imagine. Will Gustavo Puerta. Moving on. The referees, the officials, sorry. The referees, Thomas Bramwell. 2 liners are Stuart Burt and Scott Ledger. The 4th official is Scott Oldham. And if we look, this is going to be painful viewing these stats, but look at that. Way more possession, way more shots. But the story of our season is we did very little with all that possession and only 3 shots on target out of those. Excuse me. Do excuse me there. It's been a busy day. It's been a busy day by university first year semester A standards. This, anyway, yeah, it's just it's depressing when you have that much possession and can't do anything with it. It's so bad. And looking at Luton, their team then on paper is it's Championship god team. Really, Don't want any Black Friday deals from you, Morrisons. Thank you. Tim Krul and Thomas Kaminski. I think Kaminski's their number one. Wearing the same gloves as the Ivor Panther does, interestingly enough. Moving back through, Amari Bell, Tom Lockyer, all staples of a Luton team in the Championship. Same goes for Reece Burke and Alfie Doughty, Tom Holmes, who they brought in from Reading. Daiki Hashioka joined them in January last year. Reece Burke, former Tiger. Signed Victor Moses as well, which is a very interesting one. Matt McGuinness as well joined them this summer. And Marvelous Nakamba, player, I think. Tahith Chong, a former wonder kid, of course. Penny Rudder-Campanzu, another former Tiger there. Liam Walsh, who's never, ever fit. Shandon Baptiste was at Brentford, and then you look at their forward line. Elijah Adebayo, Carlton Morris, two players who scored prolifically for them last time they dropped into this division. But despite that, good team, Luton are struggling in this league. If we look at their recent form, they're below us in the table. Their last 5, a 2-1 defeat to Sunderland, a 3-2 defeat to Coventry, a draw with West Brom. They beat Cardiff, to be fair, and then lost 5-1 to Middlesbrough, who we play a week tomorrow. And then you compare that with us. I mean, we're in wretched form. I've changed the banner there. I didn't need to. We are in utterly wretched form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games without a win. We're not counting that. We're not counting that at all. That doesn't count. Our form is dismal at the moment, and it wouldn't shock me if Luton win. Wouldn't shock me if Luton win, because they beat Cardiff at Kenilworth Road. I think that was at the Kenny. And yeah, it's a tough place to go, Kenilworth Road. It always is a tough place to go. And they're below us on goal difference, but I think they are still a better team than us. I'm still surprised the managers of both teams have jobs going to this game. But here we are. Rob Edwards will keep his with a win. Tim Valter will keep his with anything, which is, well, a shame. It is a shame, but here we are. It's a shame that a manager can, not win in however many games it is and feel absolutely no pressure to deliver whatsoever. Kicking off in about 20 minutes is Plymouth versus Watford at home park. 12:30 kickoff tomorrow. This is a disgusting 12:30 kickoff. Bristol City versus Burnley and Sheffield Wednesday versus Cardiff are 2 absolutely disgusting 12:30 kickoffs. Sky TV sorted it out. Could you not have put Swansea Leeds on Sunday at 3:00? Are you mental, Sky? On a Sunday? That's disgusting. I mean, Plymouth, Watford, they're both down south, but it's still quite a drive. If you're on the coach and you're picking it up from Vicarage Road, and you're trying to get to, let's see how long the drive is actually currently from Vicarage Road to Home Park. That's still 4 hours. I mean, that's just because Plymouth's so far away. But there are such better fixtures to put on here. Like, surely it would have made more sense if Coventry versus Sheffield United was the game tonight, because at least it's not as far as that. I mean, what's Preston to Derby? I can't imagine. I mean, that can't be more than 2.5 hours, surely. That cannot be more than 2.5 hours. Yeah, it's 2 hours. Could they not have done Preston to Derby and just sort of, limited the damage of that? I mean, QPR to Stoke. What's that? QPR to the Bet365 Stadium. What's that? That's 2 3/4 hours. So, I mean, the fixtures haven't fallen nicely for Sky, but they can do better than this. Sheff Wednesday Cardiff at 12:30. Nah, it's poor. It's poor. It's really, really poor. Or you just don't put a game on a Friday night then. Shocking, really. It's shocking what Sky have done to the EFL with that deal. Memorable match. This was the day Shota Avaladze was sacked. We lost 2-0 to Luton. Henry Lansbury scored a worldie. Andy Dawson in temporary charge at this point. The team, Nathan Baxter in goal, back fours, Louis Coyle, Alfie Jones, Jacob Greaves and Callum Elder. Midfield, 3 of Ryan Woods, Regan Slater and Ozan Tufan. 2 wide players, Ryan Longman and Dimi Pelkas with Oscar up top. The bench was Matt Ingram, the keeper, Tobias Figueiredo, Greg Doherty, Dokan Sinek there, making his Hull City debut. That was one of his 1 appearances for us. Sean McLaughlin, John Michael Seri and Cyrus Christie. Seri recovering from injury back then. Of course, he was with Andy Dawson in charge. Reece Burke was starting for Luton that day as the ex-Tiger. And the last time we played Luton was a fantastic day out. This day will stick with me for the rest of my life. What a day out this was, just for the sort of laugh we had as a big group of us that met up there. That was fantastic. It was 0-0. Terrible game, but the day out was fantastic. Sonny Bradley, the former Tiger in Luton's team there. Rosenior played, Matt Ingram in goal, back 4, Louis Coyle, Alfie Jones, Sean McLaughlin, Jacob Greaves. Midfield 3 of Doherty, Simons and Tufan. 2 wingers were Syed Manesh and Vaughan. Harry Vaughan ran that game that day. He had so much of the ball. And Ozan Tufan was the false 9 striker. The bench was Carl Darlow. Didn't get a send-off, but he got a send-off the game before at home. Ryan Longman, John Michael Seri, Callum Jones in what I think will end up being Callum Jones' last appearance for Hull City, to be honest. Will Jarvis, Alfie Taylor, and what was Harry Wood's last appearance for the Tigers before he had to move to Shelburne on loan. Then Grimsby, then Shelburne permanently as well. Javo has since been back, of course. And that's a whole other kettle of fish with what Tim Valter said. And I'm not going to get into it because I could talk forever about it, really. I really could talk forever about it. We look at the record against Luton and it's poor. We've not won in 5, 4 of them defeats. You're going back to September 2019 when we beat them 3-0 at Kenny, at the Kenilworth Road for that win. That was under Grant McCann, of course. And I think Bowen scored that day. McGuinness, I think, scored that day. But yeah, not one against them in our last 5 meetings. The last 4 on the bounce of them defeats. And shared shirts, I've got a good one today. It's not an all-time niche by my standards, but it is a pretty niche one. It's Aaron Connolly. Joined Luton on loan from Brighton in 2019. Only played twice for Luton in League One. Didn't score. Joined us initially on loan from Brighton in the January of 2023. We made that move permanent in the summer of 2023. He was with us last season. 36 appearances across that season and a half as a Hull City player. scoring 10 goals. What could have been, eh? Oh, what could have been. Predicted team. I've done some shaking up with some graphics this week, and I hope you like it because it took me a while to go through because I wanted to vary the kits up a little bit because, all the images were from pre-season and they were all in the home kit because we revealed the kits late. So Pandas is the same, but it's a goalie kit. Don't matter. This is where it gets good. Proper variation here. Louis Coyle at right back, 2 centre-backs, Charlie Hughes and Alfie Jones. At left back, Cody Drama. Midfield, Simon Slater and Palmer. On the right, Kamara. Please, please, please on the right, Abu Kamara. I saw a comment, but I forgot to put it up. 1 to 10, how annoyed will you be if Valter puts Kamara on the left again? I'll be fuming. Put him on his stronger right side, then we can properly judge if he's good or not. Longman on the left, hopefully, and up top, João Pedro. Put the ball into the box to him enough times, he will get a goal, but if you only do it once, you can't back him to score that one chance every single time. Bench, Anthony Rachopi, the keeper, Ryan Giles, Sean McLaughlin, Chris Bedia, Abdush Irma, Dokan Sinek, Finn Burns, Gustavo Puerta, and Mason Burstow. I believe that was 2 home kits in that, so we have proper changed it up. We have properly changed it up. Longman in the home kit, and Finn Burns as well. And side note, I would like to see Dokan Sinek get on the pitch. I think that would be nice for him. And I'd imagine that the away kit will be sported tomorrow as well. Predicted score. I can see a 2 or 3-1 defeat. I really can. And it pains me to say it, but I just don't see where we get a win from at the moment. We've been better away from home, but I still don't see where a win comes from. I still really, really don't see where a win comes from. Ashley says they feel like Adjun will pull some shit by sacking Valter right after this match and not during the international break. It wouldn't shock me, Ashley. It really, really, really wouldn't shock me. It's I'm trying to think of the best way to say what I want to say. It's a very Shota Avaladze move if he does that. He's had all international break to sack him, yet Adjun sacked Avaladze on the morning of a game. And he's going to sack he'll sack Valter somewhere in this run where I still don't, like I say, I don't see where a win comes from. I don't see what a win comes from, where a win comes from. And he'll sack him in this massive run where you don't get a weekend off. You better get a midweek off between now and Christmas. What? We're playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. You get midweek off between Borough, then Blackburn. Then it's Wednesday, Saturday, a midweek free. Saturday, Boxing Day, 29th, New Year, and the weekend of the 4th of January. Then it's FA Cup. You don't get a weekend off. You barely get a midweek off. And well, here we are. I just want to point out to you as well, if you're not aware, that some restructuring has gone on at the club since Tan's departure. This is just to finish. I have done some top journalistic research here. And Ant reported that Jared Dublin, his source at Stoke, had said that Jared Dublin had been promoted to sporting director. I then thought from that Berry Pardo would take Tan's old job. And now, if we look here, Berry Pardo, sporting director at Hull City. This is on LinkedIn, by the way. This is available public information. And then if we move it over, to Jared Dublin, he is also a sporting director at Hull City, but updated it in October. So what we're saying is Berry just hasn't updated his LinkedIn profile, and Jared has been promoted. So a reshuffle, which Mike reported originally a few weeks back, Ant said Jared had got the promotion. And now it's all confirmed on LinkedIn, a professional platform for business. A restructure is underway. This was such an opportunity to get someone in from outside. I swear to God. But nah, just promote from within. It's fine. And we're now after our third head of recruitment in what? So we're in November, October, September, August. We're after our third head of recruitment in about 6-7 months. I mean, Adjan really likes Jared Dublin, so there we are. But yeah, the restructure is happening. It's just got to be officially confirmed on club channels, which it will be at some point, I have no doubt. Probably, I think they'll wait till New Year now. Yeah. Fantastic. Great stuff. Right. I will see all of you very soon. I probably will. I mean, I've been poor with editing this year. I've been really, really poor. But one, it's time because we've had a lot of games on a Sunday and it's getting back from uni and getting back to uni and stuff like that. And it's a nightmare. And then I've got a Wednesday, 9 o'clock till 11:30, on a Monday, 9 o'clock till 11:30. So it's hard to edit first thing in the morning. And, you just get busy during the day. And it's just demoralizing watching defeat after defeat after defeat back. But I'm still filming them. It's just getting around to editing them. And I hope you all understand that this is like just sort of like a new pressure that comes with a new time constraint that comes with further education to degree level. And it's only going to get busier, but I will try and manage it better, especially around Christmas time, because there are a lot of games. I'll maybe try and do a bit of a feature about the academy, and if Walter gets sacked, you'll have the usual coverage of that. And when the internal restructuring gets confirmed, I will, of course, report on that as well. But yeah, this is just the state of play. But thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for tuning in tonight. See you all very soon. Up the Tigers. And goodbye.